You already know who it is. You know the person you think about more than they think about you. You know the message you rewrote 4 times before sending, and the hour you spent watching a screen that stayed silent. You know the dinner you drove across the city for, the favor you dropped everything to do, the friendship you have been quietly carrying alone for years while telling yourself it is mutual, and you have a theory about why it hurts. You think you are unlucky. You think you keep meeting people who do not appreciate you. You are wrong. It is not luck, and it is not them. There is a rule underneath every human relationship you have ever had, and nobody explained it to you, because the people who benefit from it need you not to know. Here it is. In any relationship between 2 people, the one who cares more holds the lower hand. Not the weaker position emotionally, the lower position structurally. And structure does not care about your feelings. Machiavelli understood this 5 centuries before anyone had a word for attachment. He watched princes lose entire territories, not because they lacked armies, but because they needed something from someone else and let it show. He wrote that men are ungrateful, fickle, and greedy. And then he did something crueler than insulting them. He built a system around it. He did not ask people to be better. He asked the ruler to stop depending on them being better. Tonight I am going to hand you that system. I am going to show you why your kindness keeps getting invoiced back to you as obligation. Why the people you chase move away at exactly the speed you approach. And how to reverse it permanently without becoming cold, without playing games, and without pretending you feel nothing. But I need to warn you before we start. This is not a video about how to be loved more. This is a video about becoming someone who does not need to be. Some of what you are about to hear will make you angry. Something in you will want to call it manipulation, or bitterness, or fear of intimacy. Hold that thought. We are going to come back to it, and when we do, you may find out that the voice saying it was never protecting you. Because there is a question you have been avoiding for a long time, and we are going to answer it. If you stopped caring more than they do, who exactly would leave? Let's begin. Phase 1. The law of the lower hand. Every relationship, romantic, professional, familial, casual, silently runs an equation. 2 people, 2 levels of investment, and 1 gap between them. That gap is not a feeling. It is a power position. Whoever has invested more has more to lose from the relationship ending, and whoever has more to lose will always, eventually, negotiate against themselves. Watch what that looks like in ordinary life. You want to say something honest, but you soften it because you cannot afford the tension. You notice you are being disrespected, but you let it pass because raising it might cost you the connection. You take the smaller share, the later reply, the changed plan, the joke at your expense. And you tell yourself you are being easygoing. You are not. You are paying rent on a relationship you were told was free. Nobody has to threaten you. That is the elegance of it. The person with the upper hand does not need to be cruel or even aware. Your own fear does the enforcement for them. You police yourself, edit yourself, shrink yourself, and hand them a version of you that has already been pre-approved for their comfort. Machiavelli described a prince who purchased loyalty with generosity. Gifts, gold, favors, endless open-handedness. The prince believed he was building an army of friends. He was building an army of creditors. The moment his treasury emptied, the loyalty evaporated because it had never been loyalty. It had been a subscription he was paying for, and he was the only one being billed. Sit with that because it is your life. Every time you overgive, you are not creating love. You are creating a price. and the person you are giving to learn something dangerous about you, that access to you is cheap. That is the law of the lower hand. Care is not the problem. Visible, unmatched, unrequested care is. The problem is not that you have a heart. It is that you have handed it over as a down payment on affection you have not been offered yet. You will not fix this by caring less. Stop trying. You will fix it by changing where the caring goes. Phase 2. The debt you keep for giving. Here is the part almost nobody says out loud. The reason you keep over-investing is not generosity. It is a bet. Somewhere in you there is a calculation, and it goes like this. If I give enough, they will finally see it. If I am useful enough, patient enough, understanding enough, the debt will get so large that they will have no choice but to love me back. You are not being kind. You are extending credit and waiting for the repayment. And it never comes. Do you know why? Because you never sent an invoice. You gave silently and hoped they would notice because asking felt like it would ruin the gift. So the debt kept growing, unspoken, in a ledger that only you could read. And then one day they did something ordinary and thoughtless, and you felt a rage that seemed completely out of proportion. And it terrified you, because in that moment, you understood you had been keeping score the whole time. That rage is not a character flaw. It is an accounting error becoming visible. Understand what has actually happened here. You have made another person the judge of your worth, and then complained that the verdict never arrives. You handed them the gavel. You built the courtroom, and now you are furious that they will not use it the way you wanted. Machiavelli would not comfort you here. He would ask one question, and it is the coldest question in this entire video. What did you expect them to do with power you gave away for free? Stop waiting for the debt to be honored. It will not be. Forgive it, not for their sake, for the balance sheet. Close the account, and then never open another one that only you can see. Phase 3. The rescue reflex. Now we go somewhere darker, because for some of you the overcaring is not romantic at all. It is a reflex, and it started long before any of these people existed. You learned early that love was something you earned by being needed. Maybe you were the child who managed the mood of the house, the one who read the silence at dinner and adjusted, the one who was praised for being no trouble, mature for their age, so helpful. You were rewarded for surveillance, and you have been running it ever since. You walk into a room and instantly know who is upset, who is uncomfortable, whose energy just shifted, and you feel personally responsible for fixing it. You call this empathy. Some of it is, but part of it is a security system installed in a house that burned down decades ago, still scanning for a fire nobody else is worried about. And it makes you magnetic to exactly the wrong people. Because when your first instinct is to fix, you broadcast a signal. And there is an entire category of person whose only real skill is receiving that signal. They do not seek you out because they love you. They seek you out because you volunteered. You are not their partner. You are their infrastructure. Look at your last 3 relationships. Not romantic ones, necessarily. Any 3. Ask a hard question. Were you chosen, or were you convenient? Did they want you specifically, or did they want the thing you do for everyone? If the answer stung, good. Pain is just information arriving late. Phase 4. Detachment is not coldness. I can feel the resistance now. It has been building since phase 1. Your mind is saying, this is how people turn hard. This is how people end up alone at 50, protecting a heart nobody was even trying to steal. You are afraid that the cure is worse than the disease. Good. That objection means you are still human, and I want you to keep it. But I am going to take it apart because it is built on a lie. You believe there are two options: care fully and be exploited, or care less and be safe. That is not a choice. That is a trap with two doors. The exit is somewhere else entirely. Here's the distinction that changes everything. Attachment is needing the outcome. Investment is choosing the action. They feel identical from the inside, and they are not remotely the same thing. A man who needs the outcome cannot afford honesty, because honesty risks the outcome. He agrees when he disagrees. He stays when he should go. He is generous, but his generosity is a hostage negotiation, and everyone can feel it, including him. That is not love. That is fear wearing love's clothes. A man who chooses the action is free. He gives because giving is who he is, not because it purchases anything. He can be extraordinarily warm precisely because his warmth is not a bid. And here is the part that will unsettle you. He can walk away, genuinely, without threat, without drama. And everyone around him knows it. Not because he says it, because it is true, and true things leak. That is detachment. It is not the absence of feeling. It is the removal of need from feeling. And it makes you more capable of love, not less. Because for the first time, what you are offering is a gift instead of a transaction. Cold people do not care. Sovereign people care completely and require nothing. Do not confuse them. The world will confuse them for you constantly, usually the moment you stop being convenient. Phase 5, the protocol, philosophy that stays. Philosophy is entertainment. Let's make this operational. 4 rules. Use them tomorrow. Rule 1. Match, then stop. Read the level of investment the other person is actually offering. Not what they say, what they do, and meet it. Do not exceed it. If they reply in a day, you reply in a day. If they plan once a month, you plan once a month. Not as punishment, as measurement. Because when you stop supplying both halves of the relationship, you finally get to see what it weighs on its own. Most of you have never seen that number in your life. You have been carrying so much that you genuinely do not know what any of your relationships weigh. Set them down. Look. Rule 2. Let the silence run. When they do not reply, do not send the second message. When they pull back, do not lean in. This is the hardest thing in this video, and it is the one that works fastest, because a gap is information. Fill it, and you learn nothing. Leave it, and within days you will know exactly who was walking toward you, and who was only walking because you were pulling. Rule 3. Announce nothing. Do not tell them you are stepping back. Do not send the paragraph about how you have been feeling undervalued. The moment you announce a boundary, you have converted it into a bid for attention, and it will be read as one. Boundaries are not communicated. They are demonstrated. The strong version of this is silent, and it is already in motion before anyone notices. Rule 4. Reinvest. Do not withdraw. Every unit of energy you reclaim goes somewhere immediately. The work, the body, the skill, the 2 or 3 people who have actually earned you. This rule is not optional. Detachment without redirection is just loneliness with better branding. The energy you were spending on someone who was not spending it back is not small. It was funding a person. Now it funds you. 4 rules. No games, no punishment, no performance. Just the withdrawal of a subsidy nobody ever asked you to pay. Before we go further, let me show you this happening in a real conversation, because abstractions do not survive contact with an actual human being. Someone cancels on you. Second time this month, 2 hours before. With the same soft non-reason. Watch the lower hand respond. No worries at all. Honestly, I was pretty swamped anyway. Let me know when you're free. I'm around most of next week, or the week after. Whatever works. Seriously. Count what just happened. You lied about being busy to protect their comfort. You absorbed the offense and then apologized for its existence. You offered your entire calendar unprompted, and you handed them the scheduling authority for the next attempt. 4 separate transfers of power inside one friendly message, and it took 9 seconds to write. Now the same moment, from someone who does not need the outcome. That's a shame. Let me know when things settle. That is it. Read it again because your instinct is telling you it is rude, and it is not. There is no accusation, no coldness, no punishment. But notice what is absent. No fake reassurance, no sudden vacancy in your schedule, no pursuit. The responsibility for the next move stays exactly where they left it, with them. And here is what the second version communicates that the first never could. My time was real. You are not being told that. You are not being lectured about respect. You are simply meeting a person whose availability has weight, and weight is felt, never announced. One more, because this is the one that runs your professional life. They ask for the favor, the one you always say yes to, that always takes 3 times longer than promised, that you have never once been thanked for properly. The lower hand, yeah, of course, no problem, I'll get it to you tonight. The other, I can't this week, ask me again next month. No excuse offered. Notice that. The excuse is the tell. It is you submitting a justification for approval, which quietly concedes that they had the right to approve. A person with the upper hand declines, and then simply stops talking. The silence after a refusal is where the whole thing is decided, and almost everyone loses it by filling the gap with reasons. Say less. Let it land. You will find the earth does not open. Phase 6. The reversal. Now watch what happens, because this is where it stops being defense and becomes power. Something changes in a room when a person stops needing it. You have felt it from the other side. The one individual at the table who is completely at ease, not performing, not filling gaps, entirely comfortable if the conversation moves on without them. You found yourself wanting their attention, not because they pursued you, because they didn't. That is not charisma. It is arithmetic. Attention flows toward whatever cannot be taken for granted. So when you stop overgiving, 3 things happen, in a predictable order. First, the people who were living off the surplus get uncomfortable. Not sad, uncomfortable. The specific irritation of a machine that stopped working. Some of them will tell you that you have changed. They are right. They will say it like an accusation. It is a status report. Second, a few will leave. This is the cost, and I will not soften it. You will lose people. Some of them you liked. Some of them you will miss for a long time. But be precise about what left. Not a relationship, a payment plan. Third, and this is the part nobody warns you about, the ones who stay will start to reveal themselves. Because for the first time, they are being asked to participate. Some will step up with a warmth you have never seen from them, and you will realize they were always willing, and you simply never left room for them to give. That is the discovery on the other side of this. Overgiving does not only attract takers, it quietly prevents givers from ever giving to you. You spent years believing you had to earn your place. You never had a place to earn. You had a bill you kept paying. Now understand the deeper mechanic underneath all of it, because I do not want you to leave with tactics. Tactics wear off. Structure does not. Value is not what a thing is. Value is what a thing costs to obtain. This is true of gold, of land, of time, and, whether or not it is pleasant, of people. When you say yes to everything, your yes stops carrying information. It becomes weather. Nobody thanks the air. And this is why overgivers are so consistently, bafflingly underappreciated, by people who genuinely do not consider themselves cruel. They're not choosing to devalue you. Your availability did that before they arrived. Machiavelli watched this play out with money and armies. A prince known for endless generosity became invisible in his own court because generosity that never stops is no longer generosity. It is a utility. The prince who gave rarely, deliberately, and at moments of consequence was remembered for a lifetime, and the strange arithmetic is that he spent far less doing it. Scarcity is not a trick you perform on other people. It is the natural state of anyone who is actually doing something with their life. The person whose attention is genuinely hard to obtain is not playing hard to get. They are simply occupied by something real, which means there is a shortcut hiding here. And it is the least manipulative advice in this entire video. Build a life with enough in it that your unavailability is honest. You will never have to manufacture distance again. You will just have somewhere else to be. Phase 7, the mirror. And now we arrive at the layer this video was actually about. There is a reason you cannot stop caring more, and it is not the other person. It is that being needed is the only proof of worth you currently accept. Take it away, really take it away, and stand there with no one requiring anything from you, and something rises that you have been outrunning your entire adult life. Silence, not peace. Silence. The sensation of existing without a function. That is the real enemy. Not the ex, not the friend who takes, not the boss who benefits. The quiet conviction that if you are not useful, you are not valuable. Every act of overcaring you have ever committed was a small payment against that belief. And the belief has never once been satisfied because it does not consume kindness. It consumes you. Machiavelli's insight was never really about deception. It was about self-sufficiency. He argued that a prince who relies on borrowed strength, foreign armies, other men's loyalty, another state's protection, has not built anything. He has rented a kingdom, and the day the lender calls it in, he discovers he was never a ruler. He was a tenant. You have been renting your worth from other people's approval. Every relationship in this video was a landlord. So the work is not learning to care less. It is building the one thing that makes the law of the lower hand irrelevant. A self that is not for sale. Standards you keep when no one is watching. Work you do when no one claps. A life sufficiently your own that another person's warmth is a genuine pleasure and never a lifeline. That person cannot be manipulated, not because they are guarded, because there is no lever. You cannot threaten to withdraw from someone who was not leaning on you. This is where you stop being the one who cares more and become the one whose care means something. The cost. And what comes next. I told you there was a price, so let me pay you the respect of naming it. It will be quiet for a while. When you stop supplying the effort in relationships that were running on it, the calendar empties before it refills. That gap is real, and there is no trick that skips it. Some nights you will pick up your phone, look at a name, and understand with total clarity that one message would restore the old arrangement. And you will put the phone down, and it will not feel like strength. It will feel like loss. Do it anyway. That night is the whole video. You will also be misread. Warm people who stop overgiving get called cold with remarkable speed. Almost always by the people who benefited most from the old arrangement. Expect it. It is not a verdict on your character. It is a complaint from a former beneficiary. And there is one more thing, further out, that I want to leave with you. Once you build this, once you genuinely need nothing from anyone, a new problem arrives. and it is subtler than everything we have discussed tonight. Self-sufficiency is extraordinarily comfortable. It works, it protects, and it can quietly become the most sophisticated hiding place a person ever builds, because from the outside, it looks exactly like strength. There is a version of you that emerges from this and never lets anyone in again, and calls that sovereignty. That is a different descent, and it is the one that takes real courage, because it requires choosing to open a door you have finally learned how to lock. Most people never get there. Most people never get here. The majority stopped watching long before this point, and the majority will go back to their arrangements, back to caring more and calling it love, back to paying rent on rooms they will never own. You are still here. That is not an accident, and it is not entertainment. Something in this was recognized, which means part of you has already decided. So decide the rest. Stop being the one who cares more. Not because you have hardened, because you have finally understood what your care is worth. And you have stopped leaving it on the table for anyone who happens to be sitting there. This is the outer layer. The deeper ones are colder, and we keep going.